How much money are you making from these properties?
I became obsessed with it. And the only way you can know what you're doing is by getting information, getting knowledge.
You've helped a lot of people in our community to get results. So we are here today with Michael Aong. Michael has got 18 rent-to-rent temporary accommodation deals. It's a pleasure to have you on, Mike.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, right now we're in Dubai. You've come out, when did you come? What, 4 days ago?
Yeah, 4 days ago, 4 days.
No, that's great. And the main question, what most people are going to be thinking is, all right, how much money are you making from these properties?
Yeah, I'm currently making 11.2k.
Wow, okay. And that's profit?
Yeah, profit.
So that's net profit per month. 11,200 profit per month. Wow.
Yeah, after all expenses, yeah.
Wow, that's really, really good. So how long has it taken you to get to this point?
10 months.
10 months. Wow. Okay. So 10 months from start to finish, no deals. Now you're on 18, £11,000 profit per month. Okay, cool. So Mike, for people that are watching that don't know what rent-to-rent temporary accommodation is, can you just break it down and also tell us, why did you get into that strategy?
Yeah. So what rent-to-rent temporary accommodation is I basically take on properties and I give it to the local authority or the councils to house homeless or vulnerable people. Now, the reason why I got into that strategy is because me, myself, and my family, we were in temporary accommodation when we moved here from Ireland. And when we obviously, we were put in that situation for no fault of our own. The landlord that we was renting the property out to us, he was actually in arrears with his mortgage. So the bailiff actually had to repossess the house. So
Wait. Say that again. So what do you mean?
So the landlord was in arrears with his mortgage. So he wasn't paying his mortgage, basically.
Okay.
And obviously, he couldn't keep up with his mortgage repayments.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he couldn't keep up with his mortgage repayments. So as a result of that, the bailiff had to come and they basically took the property back. Or, when bailiff come, they basically changed the key, the locks to the door. Now, we were coming home as, obviously, we moved from Ireland to London. And we were coming, obviously, we went out to kind of, it's a different process when you're going into schools or getting into schools. So we went out to probably do a bit of school shopping. And we kind of came back and we saw bailiff at the door, and we were confused because that was like our first kind of encounter with police, or well, not police, or some local enforcement agencies. And at that time, I had like I have 6 siblings, and we were effectively, in a nutshell, made homeless on that day.
Wow.
So one thing about the bailiff, man, he was quite nice. So he actually let my mum go back in to get essential bits for us, for my younger ones, because they needed nappies and etc. And essential bits to keep us going throughout the night effectively. He also advised us to go to the council to seek accommodation. Now, at that point, we were made homeless, and that was for no fault of our own.
Wow.
So on that day, we obviously packed as much as my mum packed as much as she could, and gave, obviously, I don't know if you know what a Ghana must go bag is.
What?
A Ghana must go bag. It's basically a checkered bag. That it's quite a strong checkered bag, but we basically put essentials in there to take it to council effectively. So he obviously advised us, he gave us a lift to the council, and once we were in the council, obviously we were effectively seeking accommodation from them. Now, they were able to house us in like a temporary house. Now, it wasn't a temporary house, it was like a hotel room effectively. So it was 6 of us, or 7 including myself, in 1 or 2 hotel rooms. Now, at the start, I'll be entirely honest, I was like, we're in a hotel, this is sick. Quite quickly, I realized it got really dark, in the sense where when you're sharing a hotel room with 7 people, you don't have any privacy, like as in you don't have your own rooms or whatnot. When you're sharing 1 bathroom, as well as that, when you're in a hotel room, of course you can't cook any food. So a lot of the times you're getting takeouts, and a lot of the times that's money. A lot of the times you don't have that money, or my mum wouldn't have had that money to obviously provide. So it would have been, staying in temporary accommodation, in particularly a hotel room, can get very, very expensive. So throughout the times, obviously, we were in temporary accommodation in a hotel room, and obviously we just couldn't fit in there. So they then moved us to another property, which was like a 3-bedroom house. But again, when they move you from that to another property, you think, okay, cool, this is good. But that property had was rat infested.
Damn.
So it wasn't.
Where was this? London?
Yeah, in London, in Sydenham.
And how old was you?
I was about 12.
12,
so
yeah.
about 12 years old. You know?
Okay, so you mentioned you had 6 siblings, right?
Yeah.
Are they like brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I'm all my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. How many?
So I've got 4 sisters, 1 brother.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And are you like middle or
I'm third youngest.
third youngest?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're basically in the middle.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay, and now you've gone on to, you become very, very successful now. Middle child syndrome. Is it a thing?
Middle child, I don't know, you know. I feel like,
I'm a middle child.
yeah. Do you feel neglected, is it? Because the thing about middle children is they always say that no one really cares about them. But no, I don't feel the middle. What's the middle child syndrome?
Middle child syndrome is basically like, because the firstborn gets a lot more attention apparently.
Yeah.
Then the middle child can feel neglected, so they have a chip on their shoulder, and then they end up doing the most in life, like they're trying to become hyper successful and that kind of thing.
Yeah. In terms of middle child, I don't think I had that, to be fair, because I didn't necessarily feel neglected to the point. I always just had that drive because I knew I didn't want to make it. I knew I didn't want to make it. I know I had to make it.
Yeah.
In terms of whatever I put my mind to or whatever I was getting into, I knew I had to just kill it within it.
Yeah. Well, sorry, let's get back to the story. I want to see where this is going. So, all right, so now you're in a free bed in London. What happened next?
Yeah, so obviously we were in a free bed in London, and again, it's rat infested, mold, damp. But when you're coming from a situation where it was very uncomfortable, going into that situation looks better. So again, the council, there's this thing where when they offer you temporary accommodation, you actually can't refuse it. And if you do refuse it, you've done something called, you've made yourself intentionally homeless, and they don't house you. So once they give you a temporary accommodation, you have to take it. Only once you've taken it, then you can then appeal for a review on that temporary accommodation. So for each temporary accommodation we were bouncing around from, even though they weren't necessarily the most high standard accommodations with damp, with mold, rats, it was a case where we had no other choice and we had to take it. So I obviously knew that, and again, it's a lot of things that kind of lead. So when you obviously take that accommodation and it's all rat infested, you don't want to bring like anyone over. So it's like you're kind of ashamed of where you live, isn't it? When the place you're living is meant to be a home. And like even throughout bouncing around in temporary accommodation, it can get very dark for the adult involved, i.e. my mum, where you can't necessarily get a job because at any point, giving little to no notice, you could be asked to leave. And if you get asked to leave, you literally have to pick up everything and go. So it's very hard for you to make every property you stay in a home because you don't know how long you're staying there for and you don't know when they're going to ask you to leave. So a lot of the times or throughout growing up, I was living out of bin bags because it was a case where we just couldn't, we didn't know how long we were staying in a place. And because you don't know how long you're staying in a place, it's hard for your mum to get a job because she could be working in one place for 2 weeks, quite literally, and then being asked to move probably 2 hours away from where she's living. So then again, getting a job in that area then becomes very, very unstable. Even in terms of getting a bank card and all that other stuff, you need to be living in that address for a certain period of time. So there's so many things that kind of hinder you when you're in temporary accommodation, and it doesn't give you that stability. So because I knew that, and I didn't want any child to experience what I went through. Even like, for example, Christmases, like I could see in my mom's face that she obviously always wanted to provide or like get us gifts and whatnot. But because of the situation we were in, it's like, as a mum, when you're looking at a mum, it's like, oh, you always want to give your child the best experience during Christmas or whatever, just how Christmas is. But yeah, just obviously because there was times obviously where she couldn't but wanted to, and obviously I know what's in my mum's heart. Like she genuinely would do anything she can possibly. But when you're in a situation that's unforeseen and you don't have a job and whatnot, it gets harder. And just seeing, you could say the pain in my mum's face where like, imagine having 6 children and it's Christmas and you can't really give us presents or whatnot. And it's like that pain in my mum's face is pain, like the pain in her eyes that I saw was just pain that I didn't ever want to see again. So, and not only did I ever want to see it on her face, I don't want other people and other children going through a situation that I went through. Because at the end of the day, it's not a pretty situation. having not knowing or not being able to work, not having that stability in a property or in a house or where you live is not really a pleasant situation at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to get into temporary accommodation, and actually give families that stability that they need to get a job, because effectively temporary accommodation, it's in the word, it is temporary accommodation. You're not meant to be there for a long period of time. However, temporary accommodation can be a stepping stone to changing your life, because you need stability first. That's the first thing you need in order to change your life. You need to know where you're coming home to, and you need to know that you're going to come here for a long period of time. Then you can start kind of growing and going off that factor, getting a better job, getting a higher paying job, going into education, so on and so forth. So I just knew that I needed to change. I wanted to kind of change families' lives and whatnot. So I knew that I didn't want any other family to go through what I went through. And again, that's why I got into temporary accommodation.
Okay, wow. And talk to us a bit more about the strategy. So, like, I know what you're doing, of course. I'm thinking for the viewers. So, they're rent-to-rent deals. So, you're taking a property from a landlord.
Yeah.
Talk us through that process.
Yeah.
So, just in a nutshell first, just the overall strategy, then we'll go a bit more in depth.
Yeah. So, effectively, I approach landlords like yourself, and I take their properties on company lets, and then I re-let it back out to the council. Sometimes this could be on a night-by-night basis, or it could be on a more longer-term basis as well. And a lot of times you look after the maintenance, or you don't look after maintenance. But yeah, that's kind of what it would be in a nutshell. It would be, I take a property off a landlord, and then I give it back to the council for them to house families effectively.
Yeah. And then who manages the property?
So again, it depends. Normally it would be my company. So again, I've got a big team of like plumbers, electricians, handymen, and we just manage all the maintenance within the property. Anything that goes wrong, it'll be us to just get someone out there to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it would be us managing the maintenance.
Yeah. And then what about just in terms of like general management stuff? Say, for example, the rental income. Do you collect the rent? The company collect the rent, or the council pay you directly?
Yeah, so my rent is guaranteed by the council, so they pay me the rent, and it's a strategy I like because I'm not relying on the tenant that might be going through whatever to pay me the rent. The money doesn't come from them; it's not guaranteed by them. It's guaranteed by the council, and that's why when I approach landlords, I give them that guarantee that I can ensure you that your property will be looked after. Because at the end of the day, landlords only care about two things: rent paid on time, property looked after.
Yeah,
that's it.
Okay, cool. So the council guarantee you your rent. Okay, that's great. So do they pay monthly?
Yeah. So what they do is so you take on a property, for example, let's say it's the 1st of November. They actually pay you at the end of the month, so in arrears. So you invoice them at the end of the month, and then they pay you within 30 days of the next month. So effectively, you'll be getting November's payment in December, within 30 days in December. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's longer. Okay,
cool. And then is it a nightly rate? Talk to us about how that works, nightly rates.
Yeah, so there's different schemes within the council that you can be on. You can be on nightly paid accommodation, or you can be on guaranteed rent. Both are basically the same in terms of the rent being guaranteed to you. However, one's you get paid up front. So the moment you give the property to the local authority, they pay you on that spot. Or the second one is the nightly paid accommodation. So they pay you on a night-by-night basis for how long someone's in your property for. Now,
yeah. So you just have to make sure someone's in there.
Effectively, but because the list of, so as you probably know, the supply of properties and the demand of properties is, so the supply oversees the demand. Hence why before you even get a property to give to them, they already know what family's going in there and realistically for how long. But they'll never tell you how long they're going to be in the property, because it is a form of temporary accommodation, whether it's guaranteed rent or nightly paid. They're both different forms of temporary accommodation.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how did you actually get into this space?
So I got in, so originally I started doing Airbnb. So 2 of my 18 units are actually in Airbnb units. And I was doing that for some time. So I think like August last year, I started doing Airbnb. And within August, I secured 2 units, one on management and then one I actually took on. Now, for me, it was just a lot in terms of, I didn't really feel I would say satisfied doing Airbnb. It was like, oh, the money's good, but like I felt like my business, in my opinion, I didn't really have a vision for it. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna get more rent-to-rent units or Airbnb and just put them on Airbnb. For me, it didn't really have a purpose. And obviously I knew that if I wanted my business to be sustainable and a business that's there for the long term, I wanted it to serve people. And that's when I kind of heavily started looking into temporary accommodation, because even growing up, I didn't actually understand what I was going through. Like my mum was amazing in a sense where she never sat me down to say, oh, by the way, we're homeless. Like I didn't really understand from moving from property to property. I didn't understand it until I started getting into property, and I was like, I kind of sat down with my mum and I was like, wait, so this period here, what was actually happening? I do remember it, but and that's when she kind of broke it down to me when I was a bit much more older. And then that's when I understood, okay, shit, this is what it is.
Because as a kid, you just kind of just in it, aren't you?
Yeah,
You don't understand exactly what's happening. You're just living life.
Literally that.
And then as an adult, you can look back and say, okay, that's what was going on back then. Okay, cool. So I can remember, Mike, when I first kind of met you, you was, I think you was involved in like a mentorship program, someone else's program, and you was doing rent-to-rent Airbnb. And I can remember you had a couple deals.
2 deals, yeah.
But I remember you saying to me something that stood out. And you said to me, the consistency is what I want.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. You was like, I want the consistent income.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Airbnbs, it's up and down.
Yeah, because you have peaks and troughs. So with Airbnb, if you in terms of like your profit margins or your bottom line, it's always fluctuating seasonally. So it's like 1 month you could be making £1,000 profit on one property. Next month you could be in a loss. Another month you could be in £200 profit. Another month you could be 2K profit. And that fluctuation, it doesn't give you that stability to plan financially, obviously plan around that, because next month you don't really know what your bottom line is. And with obviously temporary accommodation, you know what your bottom line is, like guaranteed, no questions asked.
You know the rates.
You know the rates. So again, with knowing the rates and with knowing with knowing the rates and knowing what comes in and what needs to go out, you can understand, okay, cool, this is my bottom line at the end of it. This is my fixed cost guaranteed per month.
Yeah.
And that's the stability I wanted.
Yeah. 100%. Well, you've achieved that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
by the grace of God.
Yeah. So Mike, what's next for you?
For me, I want to keep growing my social housing business, because for every property I take on, it's a family I'm putting into a better situation. And because I understand, obviously, being in social housing or being in temporary accommodation, I understand that some landlords don't, excuse my language, but they don't give a shit about their property. They just want to put a tenant in there, and then they just want to make as much money as they can doing minimal work. Because I understand how it feels to actually be a tenant in that and have a landlord neglect their property and have your siblings living in a state or a very disgusting property. I said to myself that for every property that I provide on temporary accommodation, it has to be at a high standard. It has to be a property where I see myself living in, and I would want my friends to live in, my family to live in. And if it's a property where I can't see anyone or anyone I love living in it, I wouldn't take it on, because I know that being in a property like that will cause problems down the line.
Yeah.
So for me, what's really next is to scale this business to 100, 200 units, changing each family's life. For every property I take on, changing another family's life and putting them in a better situation than they were in, for them to grow, progress, make where they're living a home.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's really, honestly, Mike, you're doing a good thing and you're helping a lot of people. And not only are you helping house people and you're doing a good thing there, you're also helping our community, the High Performance Academy. Because I think we've not even spoke about this, but when I met you, I think, as I mentioned, you was part of a different mentorship program, doing Airbnb. How did you come across us at the High Performance Academy?
Yeah, funny enough, my sister, because I spoke to my sister, one of my sisters, and she was like, she obviously knew that I was looking into getting into like social housing, because I was asking my mum a lot of questions and kind of doing a lot of like deep research. And she kind of came across your page on Instagram.
Yeah.
It was, and I think you guys were hosting a webinar two days later.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she was like, Michael, like, look at this, like, this is sick. I think you should like look into it. So I looked into it, registered for the webinar, and I was on the webinar, and yourself and Sean, you guys were dropping like insane value. And I was like to myself, like, this is something I need to be a part of. So obviously before coming on the program, I prayed about it, and I asked God. I was like, God, where I'm about to put my money, I pray that obviously it comes back to me in terms of it multiplies, but not only that, the knowledge I receive from it and etc. I'll be able to change other people's lives with it. And I said that prayer before I purchased obviously the program, and again you can kind of see what God's done in my life. But
yeah, that's crazy. And honestly, it's the way that things work are crazy because it's a ripple effect.
100%.
You know, you prayed about it, you joined. Now you've helped a lot of people in our community to get results. Yeah. Now you're one of our mentors on our actual program. So yeah, I needed to bring you on. I've been trying to make this happen for a while, but because I'm obviously in Dubai, you're in the UK. Now you're here. We've got to do more videos.
100%. Yeah.
So Mike, I just wanted to ask you, what was your experience like joining the High Performance Academy? How did you find it? Yeah. Don't hold back as well. You can tell us
trust
everything.
me, I'm gonna be honest. Now, for me, like, I'm the type of person that I don't like not knowing what I'm doing, and you need information to know what you're doing. Information will breed confidence, 100%. If you know what you're doing, you'll be confident. For example, you, in terms of taking on another like HMO deal, you know what your bottom line needs to be. You know what the deal needs to look like. You're confident. So I knew for a fact that I needed to be, I wanted to be confident. So I also know for a fact as well, so one of the main reasons as well for joining the academy was social housing is, so when you compare it to Airbnb, for example, there's a lot of information online about Airbnb. When you look at the social housing space, there's little to no information out there on social housing. And I knew for a fact if I wanted to make the biggest impact or the most impact, I needed to know what I'm doing. I needed to know that this is how you do it. Because when you do Airbnb, if you don't have a mentor and you set up a unit, the most that will happen on that property is you'll lose money. So you might lose a couple grand from furnishing the property, putting on Airbnb and getting no bookings. So you need to pay the rent. When you do social housing, you're not only just going to lose money. Effectively, if you do that wrong, you're going to change someone's life in a negative way. So because I understood that, I'm not trying to change someone's life in a negative way, because you can lose money, you can make it back. But when you put a family into a worse situation that they were in, that morally that does not sit right with me. So I knew for a fact I needed to be in an environment where they teach it, so I know A to Z. Yeah, you have clarity. I have clarity. What does the contract need to look like? How can I protect the person living in my property as best as possible? How can I protect me from a business point of view? I didn't want to, I'm be real, I wanted to see results quickly. I could have went and done it on my own, but I probably would only have one unit, if that.
You know, Mike, you know what's crazy? You know Adil, who was with last night? This is interesting. So he, for 1 year, was trying to do it on his own. And he got close. He got so close. But for him, it was the clarity. There was, you know, like the actual real stuff, what you need to know, like what contract, as you were mentioning, you know, what should you be going for? Should you be doing the nightly rates? What scheme you should be going for? All of these little small things. Nuggets, it just didn't click for him, and he was trying for a whole year. And he said to me, he was like, Luigi, I tried everything. I threw everything on the kitchen door at social housing and temporary accommodation. I just got close, but he never got there. He joined, and then I think it was within like a month or something.
It was something quick. It was really
so
really
fast.
Quick. Shout out Adil, man.
Was he on your sessions?
He joined my session, and he was hungry, man.
So you're better to tell the story than me, actually.
So Adil, he actually joined one of my sessions. He obviously had no units, but he was hungry. He was asking the right questions. He was going through the course and the content on that program, on the program, and then implementing it in real life, coming back with more questions and saying, okay, cool, I've implemented this. This is what happened. What do I need to do now? And then I would tweak what he's done. He'll go back out, try it, come back in, join my session. I'll tweak it, go back out, Sean's session, so on and so forth. And then he just effectively, because of all the support he was getting in terms of the live sessions and in terms of the material that he had there, number one, he was moving with a lot of speed, because it's not I think I need to do this, is I know I need to do this. And when
just tell me how.
It's like, tell me how.
Yeah.
And it's like, with stuff like that, you see results a lot quicker because it's like we're effectively protecting you from making a mistake, or we're analyzing a deal, not analyzing a deal for you, but we're effectively looking over a potential deal, and you're seeing we're looking at the holes of that deal, so that it gives you confidence to sign a deal, and it gives us confidence that the deal you're about to take on will make you money.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how many deals he's on now. He told me yesterday, but I can't keep track.
I think he's on 8 right now.
8 deals.
I think eight deals right now. Yeah.
Do you know how much profit per month he's making?
Profit per month, I'm not too sure.
I think he said $5,000 or something, $5,000 a month. But now he gets how he's smashing it. He's getting these council incentives.
Yeah, of course.
And he's actually done record-breaking deals. Because
Yeah.
I think one of his deals he made £13,000.
Yeah. I think that was his high. That was his first highest deal. The second one was about $9,000. Yeah. No, he's smashing it, and it just goes to show that and again, a year of doing it by himself, came into the High Performance Academy, and within quite literally 30 days, he saw results.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of mentorship, I think a lot of people get it wrong, or like they don't really understand it. They think, oh, you get a mentor, bish bosh boo, you get a deal. Like you need to kind of understand that when you get a mentor, that's the first bit of it. It's like bringing a horse to the fountain. You can't force them to drink. And a lot of people think they get a mentor and then, oh, I need to see results, or I'm going to see results straight away. But they forget that they have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And then obviously they go shouting, oh, the course is a scam because they're not seeing results. But you need to ask them, how many hours are you putting in? But yeah, for me, myself, when I was getting into social housing, my whole life was about the business. It was about social. It was about understanding it. It was about, how do I speak to landlords? How do I get better at what I'm doing? How do I become like the best in this field? I became obsessed with it, and I kind of quit doing the stuff I used to do, not like in a negative way. For example, like clubbing or whatever. I kind of just said, like, you know what? Let me park that off to the side. Like, that's not me. This is what I'm about now. And yeah, just that hunger in me, I think, was the reason why I closed deals, alongside the material and the support I got. You can't have one without the other, in my opinion. You need to have both. And I think that's what people don't understand about mentorship.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, you have to put in the hard work. I agree with you on that. So Mike, for people that want to get into property, specifically, they want to do what you're doing, they want to do rent-to-rent temporary accommodation, I want you to give some valuable and actionable tips that they can do. If they listen to this, they'll get some, it will help them.
Yeah, 100%. Firstly, I'm going to just say from my personal experience, you have to get right with God first.
Okay.
And I say that because when I got right with God and I said, look, I'm going to take this, God serious in a sense where I want to get closer with him, I started seeing doors open up for me. So the first thing is, in my opinion, get right with God. Once you get right with God, get education. Like you need knowledge. And I think in the vlog that's coming out soon, one of the not the verse of the days, but one of the quotes of the day was the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Now again, that basically just means
say that again, Mike. Say that again. Say a bit slower.
Okay, cool. So with the vlog that's going to come out, in that vlog, obviously, we're doing like quote of the day. And one of my...
So wait, what was my quote first?
Your quote was, hey, leave it all in the gym. Leave it all in the gym.
Yeah.
Would you want to explain to them what that means, though?
It just means go all out.
Yeah.
Like, leave it all in the gym, go all out. Yeah. And just try and beat your own records. Like, just push yourself past your limits.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, your quote's way better. Just tell your one.
My quote was, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom.
The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. So I didn't really understand that, but then when you explained,
so
break it down to us, Mike.
Yeah. My understanding of that quote is basically, if you want to learn something, if you want to get into something, you need to know what you're doing, and the only way you know what you're doing is by getting the information, knowledge, wisdom. If you carry on reading that, obviously it's a verse in the Bible. If you carry on reading that verse, it says that it may cost all you have. Now, I'll be entirely honest. Before I got into social housing, before I got into anything, and I was getting right with God, I kind of prayed to God to give me a signal. I was like to him, God, give me a signal. Like, how do I get into this? And funny enough, the pastor on that Sunday read this verse out to me. Like he said this verse.
Wow.
The beginning of wisdom is this: get knowledge, even though it may cost all you have. And at that point, I literally had about 3K in my account, or at that point, all my savings would have been that mentorship, and that was kind of the reason why when that happened. And for me, that's a clear-cut sign. I don't think anything can get more clearer for me. But when the pastor read that out, and I was just like, yeah, like that was enough. That's all I needed to hop on a call, and I didn't even care what you guys were saying. I was paying for the course anyways, because it was like I couldn't have seen a clearer sign. It doesn't make sense. And I don't believe in coincidences. So it's like that happened, the call happened, I was on it. So yeah, going back to kind of the get wisdom thing is, in order for you to do anything, you need to know what you're doing. And the only way you can know what you're doing is by getting information, getting knowledge. And it's so bold because it's like, get wisdom. Like how can you say the beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
But you just need to go and get knowledge.
Yeah, one thing what stood out about you, I would say, I'm just thinking like, when I think about my students, you know, one thing what stood out with yourself, you're very respectful, you speak well. Like when we would jump on a call, you was very, I don't know how to explain it, but you got good social awareness and good social skills. You're good at building connections with people. So that's definitely helped you.
100%, 110%.
Yeah, and I do think property is I know property is a relationship-based game.
It's only a relationship game. I'll be entirely honest.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't get into property and think, let me just make money. It's like a relationship game. And for me, I will happily lose money to maintain a healthy relationship with someone, because I know for a fact money comes and goes, but the relationship you have with someone is based on, obviously, again, trust. It's based on keeping your word and so on. So for me, like, money is always secondary. Yeah. The more value you provide, the more money you'll get anyways. So
I think what happens is, like, some people they have a relationship with somebody, maybe a business relationship, and they've said one thing, but now maybe they've just closed a deal, money's coming in, or they've finished a project, money's flowing in. One of the people can get greedy in that partnership, because this has happened to me, and they can say, "Oh, okay, well, I want to take more, or I want this, or I want that," and that ruins the relationship.
yeah,
So for me, I think don't choose money over the relationship.
never.
know, definitely have the long-term vision. I think a lot of people have got a short-term mindset around in business and around money. When don't just go for the quick pound, go for the long pound. Like, think ahead.
No, 100%. I think even me, like, when I was growing my business, I don't know why, but my mind never really thought 30 years, 40 years down the line. Someone had to remind me. Like, someone told me, what's your 10-year plan for your business? Yeah. And it kind of took me back, because it's like, well, I'm only thinking about next year. Yeah. And it's like, it kind of shifted my mentality. Like, this is actually a business that I plan to do for the rest of my life. I plan to scale this business to the moon. So it's a case where when they kind of said that, it was like, oh, snap. And I kind of started thinking and looking at business in a total different lens. And I think I needed someone to tell me what was my 10-year plan, and me not to know and be like, shit, I actually need a long-term plan. Yeah. But yeah, relationships and everything.
Right, you know what I used to love doing whenever because I've always been traveling, you know, I always used to go on holidays. Even when I didn't have much money, I used to really just
big spender,
hustle just to go on holiday. Because for me, I just love traveling. Yeah. Now I'm lucky I'm able to travel. I obviously live in I don't live in UK anymore. I live in Dubai. And
you left the UK, how comes? UK's a lovely place.
You know why? No. You know, I've got a lot of respect for what the UK can bring people. You know, like, it's served me very well. So I do appreciate the UK. I'm being honest there. But obviously living here is also great. People ask me, would you ever move back to the UK? If I have to, I would. If shit hit the fan and I was in financial problems, I'd come back to the UK. So if anyone sees me living back in UK, you know, shit's hit the fan.
So but a lot of entrepreneurs like yourself, though, you guys all come to Dubai, though. What really, obviously me being here in Dubai, I can kind of see what the hype is, but what was your personal, like, motivation to come to Dubai, though?
To be honest with you, I felt like I stopped growing in the UK, because I'd lived there for 30 years. I've always lived in Nottingham. It's a small city in the UK, and I felt like I need to move somewhere. Okay, where can I move? London? Manchester? Nah, it's dead.
So yeah, let me go
It's
to
the same
Dubai.
thing.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of brought me here. But Mike, I was gonna say something before I forget. One thing I used to do when I was traveling, I'd be on like an aeroplane or I'd be on a train or just on a car journey, on a long car journey. I just literally would have my notes on my phone and I'll be working out, okay, if I can get to 5 properties, if I can buy 5 properties, this is how much net profit I'm going to make per month. This is how much my portfolio is going to be worth. Okay, if I can get to 10, this is how much I could make. 15, 20, 30, 40. And it really got me excited. And I can remember doing the numbers on it and I was like, what? So you're telling me property prices typically double every 10 years.
Yeah.
If I can get 10 of these and it double every 10 years, I've made like £1 million. For example, I started doing the numbers and honestly, it kept me going. When times got tough, I would look on my phone, look on these notes and I'll be like, right, I just need to get to 10 houses. And then obviously I kept upping it and upping it and upping it. Now I'm at the point, and people ask me this quite a lot, Mike, they say, why have you're not buying as many right now?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, my strategy of doing these joint ventures, it does have downsides.
Yeah.
For example, you don't want 50 partners, JV partners.
100%. Yeah.
It's a lot of relationships. And property is a relationship-based game.
100%.
So I feel like I need to just be real about that. Like, I don't want 50 partners.
Yeah.
So what I've started to do is property sourcing. So last week, I sold and packaged 3 deals.
Okay.
So found the deal, social housing deal, property that we're going to convert into a HMO, lease it to a social housing provider. And all 3 of these deals, they all made over £1,000 net profit per month.
Oh, nice.
Each one.
Oh, shit.
And people ask me, is it still possible? Can you still make over £1,000 a month through buying a property? Yes, you can. But I would recommend people to do social housing.
Yeah.
So if anyone's watching that's not really interested in rent to rent, but they want to buy properties and lease them to providers, they need to get involved in the High Performance Academy.
No.
Or like drop me a message because I can help people.
Yeah.
You know, we don't just teach the rent to rent side, we also teach buying properties and
But I think that's actually one thing that appealed to me about the course as well. Because a lot of courses out there, you only have the one side of things, so they only specialize in the one thing. If it's an Airbnb course or even if it's other social housing courses, it's that one, you're learning that one thing. Obviously within HPA, obviously you have that rent to rent side of things that teaches you, how do I cash flow? How do I get to a certain amount per month profit?
So, Mike, who's been your biggest inspiration in this whole social housing space?
Yeah, in biggest inspirations, probably the 2 of you, Sean, or the 3 of you actually, you, Ed, and Sean. Just obviously seeing what you guys do, the impact you make, and the value you provide. And again, it was something that I know that I wanted to replicate and literally do. I done the smartest thing, which was to surround myself with people that I want to be like. And yeah, that's...
Yeah. You know, one thing I really noticed in yourself, and me and Sean had this conversation like from a very early stage from you joining. We were saying, Mike shows great leadership within the community. And that's something what is crucial for us because we're all about building leaders. And when we see someone, we think, okay, how can we level them up? How can we help them get to their next level? On the business side, we're talking the money side, financially, business side. Yeah, that's great. But also on a mindset level and their personality as well. But Mike, now you're actually helping other people to do that within our community, the High Performance Academy. So honestly, I can see you taking it to the next level.
100%.
What is the next level for you?
Yeah, no, next level would probably be bigger deals. Again, creating more, whatever I do next or whatever I add on, just very much more impactful. So whether that's getting block deals where I'm housing thousands and hundreds of families at once, or again, buying properties and then actually giving it to the local authority or social housing providers. But whatever I do next, that has to 100% be impactful, 100%.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like on the business level, if I was you, I'd just rinse and repeat what you're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, because like, you know, there was a point for me where everyone was like, Luigi, do bigger deals. Because I was doing a lot of 4 beds, 5 beds, 6 bed HMOs. nothing bigger than a 6-bed. Started to get into the 7 beds, 8 beds, the commercials underneath. It was good, it worked, but it was stress. Yeah, so what I've realised is rinse and repeating.
Yeah, stick to what you know, isn't it?
Yeah, if something's working, keep doing it.
Double down.
You can always increase the volume, you know, like scale up the volume wise.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing to me. To be fair, obviously, doing what I know, like that's always going to be done. Like without 100%, I'm always going to keep scaling the temporary accommodation side of things. And again, coaching other people as well to get into temporary accommodation and do it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always
yeah. And like, where can people find you?
They can find me on Michael Investors Official on all social media platforms. Yeah.
You just started your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And everyone watching, please go to Mike's channel right now and click that subscribe button, because Mike is going to be dropping gems for you. You're wanting to get into property, or you're already in property, you need to be listening to Mike, because you're moving fast. You're
100%.
growing on a fast pace, and it's amazing to be part of your journey, Mike, honestly.
Yeah.
Just one last question, what came to mind. What are the typical property types that you're taking on?
So I typically take on 2 beds plus. So 2 bed to 4 bed properties, that's the type of properties I take on.
Yeah.
Reason for that is because it's because of the size of the property, they're going to put a family inside that property, and the impact I make is bigger.
Yeah.
So that's really and truly the size properties I typically take on.
Yeah, because people might be thinking, are they HMOs? Because a lot of people would think that, they've got to be HMOs, but it's mainly for families, right?
Yeah. So they're not licensed properties or anything. It's literally a standard 2 bed to 4 bed property. That I take on,
Yeah. And do you get incentives from the council as well?
I don't typically tend to go down that route. It's a route that there's always that's always an option, but I typically don't tend to go down that route. I typically go on the nightly paid side of things.
Yeah.
Probably because at the end of the day, I have to look at it like this. I always want to ensure I'm changing a family's life. However, I also need to understand that I can't take on a property from a landlord and effectively not give him guarantees as well. So because I understand that on both sides of things, I want to change the family's life, and I also want to ensure that the landlord, their asset is protected. The nightly paid side of things gives me the most reassurance or the most protection for both parties.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect anyone. It doesn't affect anyone in terms of stability wise. It still gives the family the stability they need, and it still gives the landlord the reassurance they need in terms of the property being looked after. And that's what I like. Everyone in this arrangement is happy.
Yeah.
From a business point of view, from a landlord point of view, and from a tenant point of view.
Yeah, I kind of miss speaking with tenants.
Yeah.
So I don't do it at all now. It's all fully delegated.
I think for me anyways, speaking with the tenants is probably the most rewarding part of what I do.
Yeah.
And seeing the joy, like as I said, the first ever temporary accommodation property I took on, it was a single mum with 2 autistic children.
Oh, wow.
And she was staying in a hostel basically with her 2 autistic children. So it was a shared kitchen with other random strangers. And when we checked her into the 2-bedroom property that she's in right now, she was so grateful. But not only her, it was her family. So I met her.
The kids?
Yeah, so her kids, but not just her kids. It was her sister's mum.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, the mum. And it was just, they were all so grateful for what my company provided for them. And or not what my company provided, for what I provided for them. And just seeing the joy and the relief in their face was like, this is a feeling I love. Like, it's like, this is what it's all about. Being as impactful as possible and changing that family's life. And after that, every family, a house has a powerful story. And it's like, money can't replace what the feeling you get when you check in a family to a property.
Yeah, I've just been thinking, like, you know, some of these properties that landlords are renting right now, some of them got no carpet, the walls are battered, because there's no real regulations about, you must provide carpet, or you must provide flooring, like, you know.
Yeah.
And as well, if the walls are just battered, the landlord might just think, okay, let's just get it rented, I'm not going to fix it.
Yeah.
But obviously your properties, I've seen them, they're really nice. They're all, you know, I wouldn't say high spec, but they're really nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And the reason for that is because it's like, I understand that if a property a landlord gives me is in a bad state, that's my responsibility, or that becomes my problem. So because I understand that, I know that I need to ensure that the properties they give me or the properties I take on are in a very good standard that I can then say, look, I'm happy to maintain.
Yeah.
However, even if a landlord says, okay, cool, look, this property is not necessarily in the greatest condition, I don't mind, and my team don't mind doing the work to get to that condition that it needs to be in to get rented out.
Yeah.
So it's just a case of, it's a win-win situation, because at the end of the day, I know what the bottom line is. And if a landlord wants to rent the property, it's like, okay, cool, this is the standard it needs to be at. I'm happy to arrange the work, because again, I've got such a big team, and we can just get it rented out and go like that. Because each property that's left empty or left unrented can be a property given to the council to change another family's life.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no extent I won't go to make sure that happens.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So Mike, in terms of people that want to speak with you, I know you mentioned they need to get you on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
Drop
me a follow.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram, guys. And as well, message Mike. He's very responsive. He'll chat to you and he'll be there for you. And same with me, guys, and Sean. So you can actually speak to us. I don't want you to feel like we don't respond to our DMs. Like we actually do. Drop us a message. Ask us a question. We're here for it. So yeah, Mike, thank you so much, man. Honestly, I hope you're enjoying Dubai. Thanks for coming on. And
Thanks for having me.
Mike, are you going to come back to Dubai?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be back here.
You need to.
Yeah, I'm coming back here with intention. Luigi beat me on a bench press, so I'm coming back to take the title.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good having you. All right, Mike, nice one.
Yeah.